Hello again, listeners. Today I wanted to look at doors. I was looking for a good definition of door. There were several out there, but the one I kind of stuck with was a door is a barrier that allows entry or exit from an enclosure. We have to remember, besides the doors on buildings or rooms, we have cupboards, things like that, and gates, like on fences and stuff. But I was thinking of all the different sizes and the cost of doors. You have these extravagant entryways, these main entrances, all the way down to a small door on a shed, something like that. But there are front doors, back doors, interior doors, exterior doors, storm doors. Double doors, revolving doors. So many varieties, Well, today I wanted to talk about doors in the Bible. I'm going to read Genesis 7, 7. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, into the ark, because of the waters of the flood. Now I'm going to read Genesis 7, 15 and 16. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him. And the Lord shut him in. Okay. All the animals in Noah's family entered into the ark through one door. In verse 16, when it says, and the Lord shut him in, I believe the Lord was taking responsibility for all the death outside the ark and the protection of those inside. Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit. I just thought of this. I'm going to go to Genesis 6:16. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof. With lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. That's back when they was telling him how to make the ark and all. And, the window was a cubit, which is 18 inches or, like a foot and a half below the roof, and to let the air and the light in. And Noah was to build a door, and God would close it. Now think about that door. On one side, you were protected from anything. On the other side, the judgment, had been made once that door was closed. Okay, now I'm going to go to a different door. About 1,000 years later, God had used Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. The night before they were set free, the Lord established the Passover. They were told to sacrifice a lamb without blemish and put the blood on the frame of the door. And they were spared from the 10th plague, the killing of the firstborn, protected from God's judgment. I'm going to read Exodus 12:13. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. The the blood on the door frames, the blood sort of represented life, and you know, the sin had to be punished, so the blood was acceptable for the forgiveness of sins. And then the door frames represent the totality of life as the place of going in and coming out. Okay, I'm going to move on now to the time of King Solomon. In the first temple of Jerusalem, 2 doors were placed at the inner sanctuary, the place of God's holy presence. Because sin separates us from God, only the high priest could enter these doors. Once a year on Yom Kippur, the priest would bring the blood of a sacrifice to cover the sins of the people. I'm going to read Hebrews 10:4. For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sins. On the Day of Atonement, the Israelites could have their sins temporarily covered by the sacrifice of a goat and receive God's mercy. The blood of these animals could never fully take away man's sin. Only through Jesus, with his one-time offering of himself could we be redeemed. Do you remember the parable of the Good Shepherd and his sheep that Jesus, told? I'm going to read John 10, verse 7 and then verse 9. Then said Jesus unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. And then verse 9, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. Back in first century Israel, these wilderness shepherds would build these what they called sheepfolds, which would just be little stone fences with maybe some thorny branches on top, but they would have one opening on them. Some of them might have a door, but usually it might just be an opening, and the shepherd would stay there and just attend to the flock, and just to keep them rounded up, in the wilderness and stuff. But that's what Jesus was talking about. He just the shepherd was the essentially the door to keep them safe. I'm going to read John 10:11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. The good shepherds, they always took care of their flocks. Made sure they had enough to eat, and took care of the strays and all that. But, Jesus said he would die for his sheep, referring to his sacrifice on the cross. Okay, next I'm going to another door now, Matthew 28:6. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come see the place where the Lord lay. Well, you know what this one's about. After being crucified, Jesus rose from the dead on the 3rd day, just as he promised. An angel came down and rolled back the stone. The resurrection confirmed that Jesus was who he said he was, the Son of God. He also has power over sin and death, guaranteeing us hope of eternal life. What a beautiful door this is. That leads me to my last door I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to read Matthew 7, 13:14. Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So let's try to go through the narrow door. Jesus is coming back for judgment, and many people are on the wide path. The only way to be saved is to enter through the narrow gate by repenting and calling on the Son of God who gave his life for you. Let's let some of these people that are going through the wide gate know, before it's too late. Okay, guys, that about does it for this time. Until next time.